This has been probably best case scenario setup wise for the weekend. Pretty quiet, not doing a whole lot. ADA price, not really moving, not making much in terms of extensions. We have seen a little bit of green here, but BTC holding stable at these prices is exactly what we want to see heading into the week. And, there isn't really a whole lot to talk about, but there are a couple things that I do want to point out to you guys. I want to talk about the bull market peak indicators. Once again, I do want to mention a huge long that was opened in terms of BTC. And I do want to point out something here in terms of ADA dominance as well. So if you guys are new or haven't already, show your support for the channel down below. Hit that subscribe button, that bell. It's free to do. It'll keep you updated anytime there's new content live here on the channel. So yeah, very quiet, modest days, not a lot of volatility. Today we're only up about a 0.5% or so, but the variance on this candle is from 57.07 up through 57.96. So yeah, less than 1 cent in volatility so far on today's daily candle. Maybe that changes as U.S. money wakes up, but here's what we were talking about. I said between $60 to $80 billion in daily trading volume. It's right where we're at. In terms of ADA, we're probably around 300 billion. Yeah, actually even quieter than that, $269 million over the last 24 hours. So this is a very, very low volume weekend compared to what we have been seeing. Now, again, what I will say is BTC is still broken out, still trying to hold above trend here. The good news I will say is we're, again, still above that 20-day moving average. If we keep holding that as support, that's going to be great. It should carry us up to some higher levels as we, progress through the week. And the biggest thing I'll say here is in terms of the CME futures, in terms of BTC, we don't want to create a CME gap here. So this is exactly where we want to be. Perfect setup. I will say BTC dominance kind of lingering right around that 20-day moving average, still showing signs that it does in fact want to break down. And it's very possible that as we get into the early part of the week, we could see that breakdown and a little bit of excitement for altcoins. Something I do want to mention here is that there was a huge long position open in terms of BTC. Again, we have seen this take place. $216 million long position on Bitcoin. This is a 20x position. So that could cause obviously some stirs in the market, could push things just a little bit higher. There is still this huge concentration of leverage like we've been talking about. It's there for ADA, it's there for BTC. We tend to get to this point by the end of the weekend because people are just kind of pressing against it. And then we're going to see obviously what happens as we tip into the new weekly candle that takes place at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. Something I want to mention here as well is, we looked at this bull market peak indicators. How long ago was that? A couple months back. And the great news about this is it's still a 0 out of 30. I did actually look at this the other day and we had a 1 out of 30. So this is actually flipped back in time. All right. We're back to nothing. So right now there aren't really any signs that the peak is in, that we're, it's going to see huge retracements or anything like that. That's a great sign. And something I wanted to show in terms of ADA dominance is we had actually looked at this the other day, maybe about a week ago or so, and it's still wild how similar ADA dominance is to last market cycle. You guys can see in the green what ADA did last market cycle. And the question is could we be about to go on, a big dominance push? It's possible. Need retail excitement there, need that capital on the sidelines to start to flow back in. I'll show you guys that in just a moment here. But something I did want to show you guys on the weekly is we have done these long extended periods of oversold before. We actually did this in basically early 2024 all the way up to basically June of 2024. And that was when we finally started to exit that. Guys, we've been in the oversold range here since April, and now we're in July. And what we did in fact get was just a bullish cross on the weekly stochastic RSI there. Could be a good sign of at least a little bit of a relief rally coming, maybe a little bit of an extension to the upside in terms of ADA dominance, which we would love to see. Something I wanted to show here as well is, this shows us somewhere around 2.4% dominance by August. I'd love to see that because the market's probably going to be about 5-6 trillion at that point. So you'd be talking about $100 billion market cap in terms of ADA. Not saying that's happening for sure, guys, but that'd be about a 5x, obviously, from where we're at currently. That would be about a great spot to be. $2.50, $2.80 or so. Actually, that'd be about $3. So that'd be about a new all-time high. Again, not saying that has to happen for sure, but there are some signs that are obviously working in our favor. Still need a lot more things to work in our favor. The biggest one being this, just confidence from the money in the market. Not seeing it yet. All right. We've been on this trend here since all the way back in the early part of May. Haven't got that extended breakdown. Something I did want to show you guys here too that we didn't really talk about is we're actually building a bit of a bear flag here. So it's possible that we're just kind of building to this moment where we do get this big extension down, probably trying to target somewhere around that 3.85% again in terms of USDT dominance. And that means that there's a lot of capital that has yet to re-enter assets in the space. And it's a question of, who is the loudest, who has the most things going on currently. And I would say that it's Cardano, it's ADA. There's a lot of things that are still building towards the end of this summer. We're talking about the Glacier drop. We're talking about Ouroboros Laos, which is probably going to be later in the year. We have Bitcoin OS. Obviously, at some point, that's going to come online. I had some people asking questions. Oh, yeah, when is that going to be official? Don't have a date of a rollout yet, but it's going to be a pretty big deal nonetheless. So appreciate you guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know your thoughts. Do you think that we are on this path towards a huge surge in ADA dominance? Are we prepping for a big push in the market? Is this week going to be a little bit livelier than we expect? So appreciate you guys. Have a great day. Catch you guys in the next one. Take care.